Good afternoon. It's March 30th. And it's kind of an odd time for me to walk, but here I am. Plus 2 degrees. I was waiting for it to thaw. It was cold this morning. So it should all be gone by now. And for a while, the usual amount of walking time. Focus down there in the distance somewhere. All right, off we go. I'm sure you're dying to know how the Kickstarter is doing. The Kickstarter that I'm running to fund Shapers of Worlds Volume 3, an anthology of science fiction and fantasy stories by authors who were guests on my award-winning podcast, The World Shapers, and I am very pleased to say that it has funded. I woke up this morning and it was at 12,118. 12,000 was the magic number. And last time I looked, it was at 12,253, I think. Something like that. So it's still going up, which is the point. It can keep going up as long as the campaign is running. And the campaign will run until April 7th. So still plenty of time for you to get over there and be part of it if you're interested. Lots of great backers rewards. There are books and audiobooks and Tuckerizations, your name used as a character. You can get poetry written for you by Jane Yolen, who's today's featured author. She's the last one because I did it in alphabetical order. I'm offering short story critiques and even 3-month mentorships if you want to kick in $3,000. Nobody has ever done that, but you never know. So that's at tinyurl.com/shapersofworlds3, numeral 3. Temperature, if you're wondering, is just above freezing, plus 2. So that's about 33, 34. Closer to 34 than 33 Fahrenheit. I didn't even put my boots on, I'm just wearing my runners. Hopefully that wasn't overly optimistic about the state of the sidewalks. Currently wearing my hat, but that'll probably come off as I keep going along, getting warmer here. Well, let's go down the alley. It's in the same general direction. Slightly off kilter, actually takes you back a bit, but we'll take it anyway. Got to get over to Elphinstone, which then takes us straight up to Mosaic Stadium, home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Oh, let's go this way. Stick to the alleys. This one's not too bad either. Oh, it's a little muddier than I thought. Bad choice. Bad choice. Let's go back to the one we were on, which was mostly paved, just not so much at that little spot there. Yeah, shouldn't go down the alleys when I'm not wearing my boots. Lesson learned. It looked drier from the other end when I got down here. Anywho, I survived. Okay, now we're on Leopold Crescent. Go over here to Garnet Street. So take us by the TARDIS again, I think, now that I think about it, that I featured in my thumbnail the other day. Somebody has a TARDIS in the front yard. You can see it's a nice sunny day. The other thing I did was send out contracts for the pieces I've selected for Spring, which is a magazine put out by the Saskatchewan Writers Guild featuring emerging writers. Always fun to send out acceptances to people and contracts, which is what I did this morning. That's fun to send out rejections, but the Writers Guild did that. So I just had to send out the acceptances. There's also a poetry editor, Gillian Harding Russell, who sent out the poetry acceptances. Now I have to edit the pieces and proceed from there. At some point I have to select the order, and then the layout person will lay it out. The magazine comes out with launches in June 8th here in Regina, and a launch June 17th in Saskatoon. There'll be readings by the authors. Yeah, looks wet on this side. So maybe I will. I think he stopped for me. I don't know why. I wasn't making any sign that I was going to cross the road. We'll go down College here. Go straight to Elphinstone. And straight up Elphinstone to Mosaic Stadium. I can keep up a good pace today with the dry sidewalks, mostly dry sidewalks. The other excitement this morning was internet trouble. Our internet went down, which it did last week. I was able to reboot it last week. Rebooting didn't until the fourth time after I'd already talked to the people at SaskTel. So there's a technician coming. It's clearly a hardware problem, some sort of intermittent problem, probably with the gateway. So I imagine they'll replace the gateway. It's probably the solution. But they can't come till tomorrow evening, so I was glad it does seem to, at the moment at least, have come back up. We'll see if it stays up or not. Can't even watch television if it's down because our TV comes via internet as well. It's a very blue house. School bus. Obviously waiting till school's over before it makes its next run. That lonely little chair sitting out there in the yard. I think they have a good sized yard, as far as I can tell. Oh, I guess it doesn't really carry on the way it looked there for a minute. This is Elphinstone up here. When I walk around the creek, I'm usually coming the other way along here. I won't cross here. I'll go up to the lights. One of the lights to cross. Ooh. A lot of water on this side. Maybe I will cross here. Speaking of SaskTel, he should have stopped for me. This being a crosswalk. I've captured quite a few traffic violations in these walks. A couple of times I almost got run over by somebody who ignored things like that. So you have to be careful. Can't trust drivers to obey laws when it comes to pedestrians. Of course, when you're a driver, pedestrians are a nuisance. Ugh. Well, again, I'm not wearing my boots, so I gotta avoid some puddles here. I expected it to be drier than this. These are places where people obviously did not clear their sidewalks. Or it's just kind of sunken spots on the sidewalk that make it collect water. Oops. There's that going on too. When I come back, I'll go more over towards the 13th and more over on that side. I won't come straight down Elphinstone again. It's pretty wet up there too. We'll see how deep it is. Mostly okay, I think. Can get around it without getting my feet wet. But yes, I was a little overly optimistic not wearing my boots, clearly. And there's mud too. I'm going to lose my hat though, I think. So I don't usually walk on this side when I go by the school. This will take us right by Connaught School up here. It's a bird singing, or chirping anyway. Not much in the way of song. Across 14th. Here's the school, Connaught School. More puddles to avoid. I'll use this, the street along here. It's quite wet. I think the other side might have been better. I avoided it because it looked like it had water on it, but this side has been waterier, and that side has for sure. People probably think I'm somebody that's making sure they don't break the 30-kilometer-an-hour speed limit here. School zone speed limit, because it does look a bit like a radar gun. Connaught is a new school, built where an old school was. These puddles are terrible. Once we get across 13th, it looks pretty good. That's the Connaught Library. Over there's Happy High, which is a coffee shop. Not a cannabis place, despite the name. This is actually a new building. Not a very interesting building, but it's a new building. Looks like there's condos or apartments up above. Well, hopefully I pick a better path to go home. It's so bad when it's just water, a thin layer, but when it's an actual puddle, that's a pain. Back up here, looks a bit deeper than I want to struggle with. So we'll use Lawson stone again. This is Victoria Avenue up here. And just one block up to Saskatchewan Drive, and then Mosaic Stadium is on the corner. Oh, yuck. Well, I guess we can go upstream of this one, so to speak. That was mud I slipped in, not even ice, after avoiding ice all this time. I could still make this. That was Victoria Avenue. And next up here is Saskatchewan Drive. And you can start to see the stadium on our left. I don't think I've been up here since maybe the Frost Fair, and that was back in early February. So at least 6 weeks. Oh! Unexpected driveway. I dip way down. Other than slipping, that's the biggest hazard, not watching your feet as you're doing this. And being taken by surprise, not by a pair of lovely eyes, but by the terrain. Dairy Queen here. Oh, Alice went to at least one birthday party in the basement here when she was a kid. I still think of her as a kid, but she's 20 going on 21, so I guess I'm going to have to stop thinking of her that way. There's Mosaic Stadium. Most of the field, most of the seats, well, at least half the seats are below grade. 20 some rows of seats. So it's a bigger stadium than it looks like from up here. It seats 30 some thousand. Is it 38,000? 35,000? Something like that. And of course, this is where Grey Cup, the Canadian Football League National Championship, will be played this fall. We were supposed to have it in 2020, but that didn't happen. We'll go take a look. You can't see much of this of the field because of the fence around it and all that, but we will take a look. Prairie firearms training. I always wanted to do firearms training. Never particularly wanted to own a gun. I just always wanted to feel like I knew what to do with one. From a writer research point of view. I fired a .22 when I was about 10. I think that's the last time I fired a gun of any sort. Have to wait for the left turn signal. We'll go back. I'll go over to the other side and Well, I'll walk around to my left to start with, because I usually go down and walk around the other end to start with. We'll go down this way first. Hello, Kirk in Vancouver. I've occasionally had to wait for a train here, but looks like I don't have to worry about that right now. Unless the lights are broken, so I'm going to look both ways anyway. There's actually a locomotive down there, but I don't know if it's moving or not. That's the main CP line that goes across the country. Transcontinental Railway, Canadian version thereof, which is considerably longer than the US version because of the way geography works. Gate 4. How long did it take me to get here? Yeah, it's pretty much 20 minutes here. You spend 10 or 15 minutes walking around and 20 minutes back. And it's pretty close to my usual 55 minutes to an hour of walking. Can't see much, but we'll go take a look. Again, most of the seats are below where we are. We can't even quite see to the field here. Really warm up against this brick wall. Aha, I was right. Here comes the train that I just beat. Should be gone by the time I get around to the other side again. It'll catch up to me here momentarily. This is the, what do they call it, the Pils zone? Pilsner. Here it comes. It's all locomotives at the beginning. I don't know how many of them are active and how many of them are just being towed. It's like 6 locomotives at the front of that. That could be grain, but it's more likely potash, I think. The grain cars, I mean, they can be shipped in hoppers, cars like this, but this is most likely potash, of which Saskatchewan produces a rather large amount of the world's supply. That's the Maxitron up there. It's a very long train, so I'm glad it came along after I went by. This side. To gate 1. This is the loading area. Oh, you hate it when that happens. It's stopped and it's probably blocking the crossing back there. It might still be there by the time I get around. This over here is Confederation Park. We'll take a dip into it. Yeah, the train's motionless. I presume it's called Confederation Park because it was created as a Confederation Centennial Project. Is it called Confederation Park or Centennial Park? Anyway, I assume it was a Centennial Project in 1967. Nope. Hello, Charles. 80 degrees there. No rain in our forecast to speak of. There might be some showers. We had some snow showers yesterday. Are they going to back up again, or what are they going to do? I might have to walk all the way down to Albert Street if it's still there when I get around. Yeah. They haven't cleared the snow at this end of the park. Anyway, there's the stadium. So during a football game, you'll have, concessions and things out here, kind of a tailgate party kind of thing going on. But an official tailgate party. Fountain might actually be older than Centennial. Actually, I would almost think it is. I know they did some work on it a while ago. You can see the provincial crest with the 3 wheat sheaves there. And there are frogs that squirt water when the fountain is running. And some lions too. Lions and frogs. I don't like lions and frogs. I was going to go that way, but I won't. I guess I can take this one. And that sounds like they're moving again. Yeah, there they go. There's kind of a big fan lounge you can go into during the game and get your concessions and stuff. If you're tired of sitting out and actually watch the game, you can go in and watch it on TV instead. It's not bad in cold weather. It's nice to go in there sometimes and warm up. This is the Branch Center. I'll just go this way a little bit. This is where the Regina Pats of the Western Hockey League play. I've been to concerts in here. I remember going to Alabama. That was a long time ago. And I think I saw Bob Dylan here and Dire Straits. I've seen Cirque du Soleil at least twice in there. Queensbury Downs, that's where my daughter's graduation dinner was. It's got a big dining space up there, so it gets used for that sort of thing. It's kind of the convention center. Of course, I walked through a lot of this when we were here for Agribition, if you go back and watch me walk by the cows. Evraz Place is the whole complex. It's the other end of the park, which you can't really see. I don't remember those being there. Doesn't mean they haven't been there for years. I just didn't remember them. Oh, wait. Well, that's why. I was thinking I was in the middle of the park, but this is it. Yeah, Confederation Park it's called. Oh, 1927. Okay. I was only off by 40 years. I thought it might be 1967 for a centennial, but no. 1927, which would have been, well, an anniversary of Confederation, but Confederation was in 67, so that would have been the 60th anniversary of Confederation, I guess is what they built the park for. Statues of Ron Lancaster and George Reed. Lancaster was quarterback for a very long time and best in the league, and George Reed was running back for a long time, best in the league often. They unfortunately did not win a lot of Grey Cups. One, I think. Came close and lost a couple of others. But still, everybody remembers Ron Lancaster and George Reed. Lancaster's dead, but he was a TV commentator for a while too. But Reed, I think, is still alive. Yeah, I would have heard. I occasionally see him around town, or I have. It's been a while. You never know, because it's been years since you've seen big crowds of people. Now, a couple of years of the normal sort that we had and will have again, hopefully this season. Now the gate, another view of the field. You can see the Maxitron down there, Jumbotron, I don't know what they call it. Then you've got a little further around here, we'll come to the Rider store where you can buy your souvenirs. That's the armory over there. Also the Saskatchewan Military Museum is in there. I think that's where the cadets practice drilling and all that sort of thing. You can see it has that fortressy look to it. It's not really a fortress, but it's made to look a bit like one. Here's the Rider store. Well, that's the admin entrance first. But going along here is the Rider store. Probably can't see much. I won't go up to the glass because that would look weird. But they have all your jersey and other souvenir needs. It's a plaza, kind of a honoring people important to the team there. Here's gate 3 with giant football players glaring down at you. And over there is the Lawson Aquatic Center and the field house, city-owned facilities. See the statue there. And that is still blocked, and that train's now going the other way. Hopefully it gets by. If you were sitting here waiting for it, you would not be too thrilled, because it must have been blocking this intersection for 20 minutes now. I'm going to cross to the other side, and that way I have the option of going down all the way down to Albert Street. It should be a bit out of the way, but it's certainly doable. I know nobody's coming from that direction. There goes the locomotives, so presumably it will back up here again and clear the crossing by the time I get there. So that was Mosaic Stadium. Haven't been here for a while. Hasn't really changed. It's clearing the path. It's clearing the path. I don't know how far it has to get before the lights go off. There's underpasses, I think, on almost all the streets down that way, but it's a level crossing here, so you can get held up a long time here if you're unlucky. Looks like I timed it perfectly, though. As long as they don't start back in this direction before I get to the crossing, I'll be all right. Downtown is down that way. Yeah, I could walk along this street and get all the way down to Albert. It's kind of boring and would take me a bit out of my way. So hopefully this will work out just fine. So goodbye to Mosaic Stadium. Hello to Saskatchewan Drive. And the main CP line across the country. I don't know if these tracks are the original ones. He's going to move again in this direction, it looks like. So I just made it. This may just stay red, I don't know. Oh, now he's moving at a proper speed. It's a lot faster when he went by before. I don't know how long I'll have to wait. I don't know how these lights work when there's a train going by. Not a good place to jaywalk though, because the cars are coming along over here at about 70 kilometers an hour. Oh, there they're changing. Probably a left turn signal. That's what I was afraid of. It didn't actually change because of the train. So I can't even cross here without waiting. There's no place to cross going down there, so I am stuck by the train without even meaning to be. Oh well, let's watch the train go by. I guess they were just adjusting things, and that's why. I could have crossed, but it didn't really give me a light. So. This is more interesting anyway. That's moving at a good clip now. Should clear out of there momentarily. It's headed west. Lots of containers. It doesn't even look like the same train that went through first. Okay, I should get a green light here now. Momentarily. I really thought I'd avoided it when I was able to cross in front of it, but nope. I'm still not getting a green light. There it goes. Oh, people lined up here. This is the cheapest place to get gas in town, or one of the cheapest places, so you'll often see a lineup of cars there. Well, that added a good 10 minutes to my walk. But it was exciting for my vast herd of fans. Do fans come in herds or do they come in flocks? I'm not sure. What's that say? It's very bright. have to wait till I can get in the shade a little bit, I think, before I can read that. There's a dark background behind it anyway. Maybe here. Is biking a good option in Regina? Yeah. There are bike lanes some places. Terrain is flat. Miserable in the winter though. Biking when it's 20 below is no fun. There's a big bike path that goes like for kilometers. Cuts southwest northeast across the city. Downtown there are bike paths. You don't see a lot of bikes on them, but they're there. And others here and there. It's not very big, so if you're willing to risk the traffic and are careful, you can certainly get around town pretty reasonably speedily on a bike. And it's not like trying to get around on a bike in New York, Manhattan, traffic-wise. So. I used to bike more, but I have had my bike stolen and I haven't replaced the last one. And they took my helmet too, and it took me a long time to find a helmet that would fit me because I have a big head. Not entirely due to my ego, just born that way. Start to zigzag our way now back towards home. This is Victoria Avenue. Like if you're going to the university, the bike path, once you get on it, takes you not exactly straight there, but you can ride it all the way to the university. So and there's quite a few, not just the main path, which is the one I'm often walking on, the Devonian pathway it's called, but there's also other paths around the various parks and stuff that you can get on. So for basic transportation, except for the cold weather, it's probably not too bad in the summer biking. Hearing a lot of construction noises starting to pop up. We're going to have some major work done in our backyard, but it's still full of ice and snow, so I don't actually know what the timeline's going to be. We're waiting to hear. I need to follow up with the engineer. The contractor would like to see something changed in the engineering drawings, but I can't do that unless the engineer signs off on it, so I'm waiting to hear back. I need to phone, I guess. He didn't respond to my email. Interested to see when I get back if there's been any more movement upward on the now completely funded Kickstarter. Hope that's sand and not mud. Mostly sand. This is 13th. It's not a crosswalk here, so I will go down to the left. Along 13th for a bit. Oh, he stopped the traffic. I guess I could have taken advantage of that, but we'll go down this way. There's Holy Rosary Cathedral popping up on the right, as it is wont to do. That's why this is called the Cathedral Neighborhood. Where's my first crosswalk? Not this one, but the next one I can cross over with the aid of a light. This is a colorful house here, trim-wise. Those are condos, used to be a nunnery. Get thee to a nunnery. Honk honk. This house is an interesting color, but it has an excuse. It's actually a store called the Groovy Mama. There's the former nunnery. And there's the cathedral. I will cross over on the other side from in front of the 13th Avenue Coffee House, which you'd think I'd be in more often, but I don't find its space conducive to writing, and that's my main interest in coffee shops, so I haven't been in there for a long time, actually, but I like it. I like the looks of the place and the mural on the side with the cows and the green elevators. There's like a Laurenburg Bug. I don't know if it is or not. Don't go down that way, it's probably wet. Bit of ice here. Up to the cathedral. This is unfortunate that they put this in front of the cathedral. It shows a complete lack of awareness of aesthetics. Look up, look way up. And there's the cathedral. Over there is Penny University Bookstore, which I haven't done much in, but will do more because I have books that will be being launched. Not mine, but the ones I'm publishing this fall, and might very well do something there. At least with the local author. One of my authors doesn't live anywhere around here, but one is from Saskatoon, so opportunities there. Also relaunching another book by a Saskatchewan author. And another one contracted, so there'll be more of that. This row of houses looks nice. They're all nicely done up and painted. All the same developer, I'd wager, when they were first built. This is, well, it used to be the rectory. I don't know if it still is. Probably still is. And then yeah, it would be. And that's the, well, Holy Rosary School, but the building on this end is separate school board offices. I can't imagine anybody watching these every single day. If they did, there would certainly be a certain amount of repetition. There certainly would be a certain amount of repetition. Repetition, I tell you, repetition. Sometimes I say the same thing more than once. More than once. There you go, separate school board. That's Cameron's. If I went straight down there, we'd come to my old friend, the footbridge. But we're going this way.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? Speaking of biking, he's always bikes. I know him. Musician, guitarist. Teaches guitar, or did at least, at the conservatory. And I performed with him years ago in Regina Lyric Musical Theatre productions. Well, snow and still snow in the yards. It takes a long time. The Alpha apartments here. I think those are the Alpha apartments, and these are the Beta ones on this corner. If I remember right. We looked at a condo in here when we were looking for condos, but didn't like the fact that the kitchen floor sloped so much that if you dropped something, you always knew where it would end up. I mean, that was a good thing, I think. And those ones there, as I often mention, our piano used to live in before Margaret Ann's grandparents bought it from Madame Burkett, who was one of the early voice teachers in town. So the piano is definitely over 100 years old now. Needs tuning. It's a Kanabi. We know it was built between 2018 and 1929. My assumption is the earlier part of that span, because it has a sticker in it about some award that the piano won at the 1918 World's Fair in San Francisco. And then the company went out of business in 1929 in the crash. So that narrows it down pretty good to the span of time. Kanabi was a rival of Steinway, but Steinway survived. Kanabi didn't, although the name survived. It's currently, last time I looked, it was being made, Kanabis were being made by a South Korean company. So they have the name, but how much other connection there is, I don't know. Kanabi was supposed to be the most voice-friendly piano, so it was the piano that the Metropolitan Opera used to accompany singers. Whereas Steinway was the concert pianist piano of choice, and still is, I would think. Yamaha, I guess. There's some others. Is it Heinzmann, I think, is another one. But we have a Kanabi, but boy does it need tuning. I haven't even played it in a long time, and I'd like to play it some more. That was another unexpected dip. But it needs tuning. I have a friend who tunes piano, so I will give him a call if I remember to one of these days. This is our crescent, I believe. Or am I one over still? It's not Leopold, it's either Connaught, and I've gone one past Angus, or it's Angus. Oh, it's not Angus because it's not a four-way stop. This must be Connaught. The half crescent. Quarter crescent, really. Well, no, half crescent. The crescent is half a circle, so. Quarter crescent, the short crescent. Right, because this is Robinson. I knew that, had I thought about it for more than 2 seconds. So we'll go down Connaught, which I don't walk along as often as I do Angus anyway. College Avenue, looking towards Albert Street. Friday will be my walk around the lake. Not sure about tomorrow. I'll try to walk, but I get very wrapped up in what I'm doing. And sometimes I resent taking the time to walk. It's one reason for the live streaming, is to give me more incentive to keep walking and not let that feeling of, but I could be writing or editing instead, stop me from exercising. Oof, oof, I hear in the distance. From a distance, a dog sounds like a dog, even though it's far away. Original lyrics, they didn't work, so I changed them. Good choice. Because originally it was, dogs are watching you. You've heard about the dyslexic agnostic who lies awake at night wondering if there's a dog. Ba-dum-bum. Dogs are watching you. Dogs are watching you. Dogs are watching you from a distance. Or is it us they're watching? Maybe it's us. God is watching us. That sounds more like it. Dogs are watching us. It's funnier with dogs. Cats are ignoring us from a distance and also up close. Not our cat. He usually is anxious to be petted about this time of day, and he doesn't like it when he comes downstairs and nobody's home. They are creatures of habit, as are we all, I guess. Especially nuns. Ba-dum-bum. I really must get somebody to walk along and do rim shots when I make these jokes. All right, here's our corner. We will stop here. Thanks for walking with me, and I'll be back. Bye for now.